Questions?
Well, definitely excited about another opportunity to take care of home court. Obviously, with the AP poll, coaches poll coming out to see our SEC teams representing the top 3 spots out of the top 4 is tremendous. For us, when you look at the top to bottom competition, 13 of the 16 teams have had a situation where they had multiple losses in a row. The 3 teams that hadn't obviously sit atop the top 3, and that is a tremendous. I don't know when the last time that took place, but it's a tremendous thing to be a part of it, and obviously do the things that we can do to make sure we continue to perform at a level. I'm excited about where our guys are heading. There's still room for this team to grow, as I've mentioned to them previously. We're going to have a tough Oklahoma team coming in, and obviously the history part of Oklahoma versus Missouri starts back to the Missouri Valley Conference. The Big 6, Big 7, Big 8, Big 12, and now the SEC. And when you have that historic value in competition, it brings excitement for the crowd. And I'm excited for our crowd to see this matchup again. We're going to need them in this building, our students, our student section, our community, and our fans. We're going to need them to continue to give us a home court advantage. Obviously, on Oklahoma staff, I have a younger brother, Armand Gakes. I'm very proud of what he's done in his profession. He's an unbelievable coach. He's been on staffs that have won and changed programs. He started at Kent State, where he played. He also coached there. I'm just so proud of his development to see him go and do what he did with Porter at Loyola. He was one of Porter's first assistants hired at Loyola Chicago, and you can see where that program ended up going. And then he was on Chris Collins' first staff at Northwestern and helped them recruit an unbelievable class that ended up leading them to their first ever NCAA berth. And you can see Chris Collins' career and things like that. He'll get a shot, meaning my brother Armand Gakes, he'll get a shot to become a head coach at some point. And that's a tremendous accomplishment once that day comes, and he's just gonna be well prepared. Trust me, he'll be well prepared, and he'll be a star in the business like he's been. And I'm very proud of what he's done thus far at Oklahoma for the staff that he's done it for. To be able to land a recruit like Jeremiah Fears, he worked his behind off to do that. He had that kid on a visit, I recall, because we offered Jeremiah Fears his first high major offer. But my brother was at Oregon at the time, and he brought them on a visit, things like that. That's where that relationship started. So for Porter Moser, again, the impact of assistant coaches, I think Armand has done a tremendous job of his relationships nationally, building his own network. And obviously you can see where that team has been. They've been in the top 15 to start the year, where they beat Michigan, they beat Arizona, they beat some top teams. This is a top 25 team coming in here. They started conference at 14-0, but when you have a talent like Fears and other pieces around them, they are a tremendous team with a great opportunity to play in this conference, and obviously not being ranked only because the SEC is what it is. I truly believe you take away the conference competition, this is still a top 25 team coming in. Jay Moore is a great player. They have a host of shooting, and you have young kids and obviously players alike that's going to come in here and not matter what their record is. And Porter Moser, I have respect for. He's a tremendous coach.
Questions?
Coach, have you coached against your brother in a game before that you can recall?
I was an assistant at Northern Illinois when he was an assistant at Kent State as well. And I think, Kent State at that time was, they were running the conference in the MAC, and that was the last opportunity that I had to be on the sidelines. The thing is, my family, they're excited about the game. My mom, dad, siblings, aunts, uncles, high school coach, AAU coach. I mean, it's about the players that play though. The players that play, it's about them. On the flip side of it, I'm excited to see my brother. I hadn't seen him in a while. but our schedules are always like two ships passing in the night, right? And when I get the opportunity to see them, that'll be great pregame. But it's still competition, no different than sibling rivalries always are. They're going to come in here wanting to win a game, and we're going to be here protecting home court, wanting to win a game, and our guys are going to just go out and lay it on the line.
Dennis, is this maybe one that you both maybe talked about before the season started? Like, oh, we're in the sibling rivalry, like you mentioned, oh, we're gonna beat each other in this game.
We knew once they switched conferences, it taking place, but we don't put emphasis on it. Again, it's about the players. We're excited about where our teams are this season. They have a good ball club, and they're going to continue to give their very best. And our job is to do the same, give our very best, make sure we take care of home court, because ultimately in this conference, every game matters, and the implications of seeding in the SEC tournament, and obviously wins, appropriate wins. These are all quad one games in our eyes, and we got to make sure we give our very best.
Coach, you mentioned after this last game, hindsight is 2020, but looking back at the film, was there anything you feel like you could have done differently against Texas A&M?
Well, like I said in the post game, and I apologize to my team. Hindsight, should have called a timeout. But again, on that play, that specific play, if you replay that play, Tamar got hit on his arm on his pull-up shot. I don't know if you guys replayed that and checked that out. Now, in the heat of the battle, am I blaming anything on anybody? No. We missed a shot. They made a tough shot, and that's what it is. And that game is behind us. There's not one situation that allows you to lose a game. There's multiple situations, and that game, I believe, we got to do a better job coming out of the first 5 minutes.
Coach, you mentioned in the post game as well, converting second chance opportunities, especially when you guys got an equal amount of opportunity down to A&M. Now that you've had a chance to go back and watch film, how do you think you guys can improve in that area going forward?
Well, at the end of the day, I think when you look at the analytics of it, the second chance points, some leads to free throws, some leads to 3-point makes, some leads to 2-point makes. I don't think all of it at the end of the day, gives you the full gambit of second chance points. What I do know is on that stat sheet, we had 11 offensive rebounds, and we gave up 11 to a team that is really good in that area, #1 nationally. So for us, we're going to continue to compete. I'm proud of our guys and how we defended for a stretch. And we just got to do it for 40 minutes, and we're going to continue to give our very best, stay connected. And I'm looking forward to the next guy that's going to be able to step up. We've had Marquez Ward, Marcus Allen, we've had T.O. Berry, we have had different guys. I think ultimately Ant Robinson and Trent Pierce got to play better. They got to play better, and they know that. Jacob Cruz took a jump, and he did a tremendous job last game from a spark standpoint, and that's why he was able to get the nod at halftime. And I thought we did some great things in the second half with him too.
Coach, you talk about Marcus Ward and Jacob Cruz. What's it like seeing them just adapt to Southeastern Conference play, and what's it also like watching two experienced scorers kind of find their rhythm?
Well, it's the kids that I know they are, and sometimes adjustments are single races. You gotta wait to figure out the race that one kid individually runs and see how long it takes for him to adjust. It's not about just the team. Sometimes you got to push guys along, let them go their pace. What was great to see is Marquez Ward take that jump, but with that opportunity, he took the jump. So I got to look for more opportunities for these guys so they can continue to do what they need to do. Jacob Cruz, the same thing, because ultimately those guys are different makers, and ultimately we got to have a Josh Gray, Mark Mitchell continue to do the things that they do, Caleb Grill, Tamar Bates. Our depth is a strength, and we do it by committee, and we're going to continue to make sure we get these guys in these situations. I'm trying to figure out what Peyton Marshall, when that break is going to come for Peyton, Honor Boateng, right? When will it come for our other freshmen? And that's great to see. I'm excited to see what Trent Burns can continue to do. He's obviously gotten another layer of clearance, and he's been out, being able to do drills and different things like that. So it's a good thing to see, because ultimately everyone on our team has been part of our plans this year.
Coach, just to go back to talking about Robinson and Trent Pierce needing to play a little bit better, what could go into that? Does that mean maybe shaking up the starting lineup? Does that mean kind of trusting the process that you've been running with? What can you do to sort
It's
of
just
spur that?
for Ant, it's staying out of foul trouble, figuring out how he can stay aggressive offensively and defensively without getting in foul trouble, right? Trent Pierce, the same thing, but more so, how can he continue to spark us defensively, rebound and getting deflections, but also not just make it about 3-point makes, right? There's other things he does. He connects us offensively with his great passing. He's versatile. He does a tremendous job. And we just got to make sure these guys get out of their own way. And you got to understand they're still young. And, you know, if I had to guess about a wall, they're probably at their wall now, but not, you know, approaching it. I think they're on the peak of it, climbing it, and getting to the other side of it as sophomores. It's just that sophomore situation that I think they're in.
Coach, Jeremiah right now is a projected lottery pick by a lot of people. What kind of challenges does he present, especially on the offensive end?
Well, I'll tell you what, from a relationship standpoint, his dad was a heck of a player. His dad played at Ohio, came from Joliet, Illinois. I was there visible seeing him. So you kind of know kids, and I'm proud again of my brother Armand Gakes, and obviously the relationship he's had with that family. Being able to have a kid graduate early, he's supposed to be at Men's Warehouse getting a tuxedo for his prom, and this kid graduated early. And you know, the conversations that took place after July for that to take place, he committed at Peach Jam. And I remember a conversation that I was having with my brother at the time that, you know, he was about to get this kid, Fears. And I said, really? Well, now you see why, and you see the impact that he's made. Porter Mosier has done a great job developing him, putting him in that situation, giving him a little bit early and then just throwing him in the fire. And now being able to be patient with him. He's a heck of a player, a future NBA player, and obviously one of the top guards in our conference. And that says a lot for a kid that's his age, who's supposed to be at Men's Warehouse, I think this week, preparing for his prom. And that's not the case. He's in the SEC, the #1 conference in the country. The #1 conference in the country. And he's leading his team in addition. And it's not just a one-man team. Oklahoma is a great team. They're a great team. They were undefeated in non-conference play. And every piece of the puzzle has been able to be a factor. It's not just one person. So I just want everybody to understand they're not who their record says they are from a conference standpoint. This is a great ball club that's well coached, that's balanced. They shoot the ball at a high clip. They have inside play. They have experience. And it's going to be another SEC battle. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be another SEC battle. And obviously, Fears is getting a lot of the credit, but a lot of the credit can't just go on one person. It goes to throughout the team because a lot of guys have stepped up for Oklahoma.
Last question.
You talked a lot about your first few years here being in the infant stages of building the program. I know a lot of it might depend on what you do in the next 2 months here, but holistically, where do you feel you're on that timeline now?
We're still in infant stages, and I say that from a standpoint of, I just had a mentor retire after being at a place for 24 years. That's uncommon, and it's gonna become more and more uncommon. I wanna be at a place for 20 plus years too. I wanna be here for 20 plus years. And when I say infant stages, look at the duration of just growth of an individual. You're an infant for a while, and there's a lot of future ahead. There's a lot of bright things ahead. Our goal is to get to a place where this program has never gone. This year it's in San Antonio, Texas. We've never been as a program. You know, I talked to Norm. Norm does a great job putting his arms around me and putting a foot on my behind too, because he cares so much. And I love his constructiveness. I love learning from him, and I love his wisdom. So when it comes down to the infant stages of it, I got a lot of catching up to do. He's the all-time winningest coach, so that's what I compare it to as it relates to being a Witten family head men's basketball coach. We're in infant stages compared to what Norm has accomplished. The only banner we have up is a NCAA banner. I want an SEC championship. Regular season, I want tournament championship banner. I want NCAA banner. I want a Final Four banner, a national championship banner in Mizzou Arena. That's what I want. So until those things happen, we're in infant stages. We're in infant stages. From the standpoint, yeah, I want to be ranked #1 in the country at some point. We're in infant stages until those things happen, but we're in the best platform to be able to compete night in, night out, to continue to show people the direction that we're heading. And ultimately, you know, we got 18 guys in the locker room. We got an unbelievable staff. We got great support here with an athletic director, president, board of curators who believe the same thing, that we can go to a special place. And I'm just happy that I'm the steward, being able to push everything forward, and our fans are enjoying it. And I think we're steadily getting slow results, but we got to get over the hump. And until that happens, I'll probably say that we're in infant stages. So I want to thank our fans again for what they do, the sacrifices they make, because it's not possible without them. The electricity in the building is a tremendous advantage for us, and ultimately this upcoming week it'll be the same. So I'm thankful for that, being the Witten family head men's basketball coach here in the SEC, doing a unbelievable time in college basketball in this conference. This has never been seen. Has it ever been 3 straight, 1, 2, and 3 in the same conference?
Not sure.
Has that taken place in the AP poll before?
I don't know.
Don't know. Y'all got homework to do. All right. Thank you, guys. MIZ.